Great, we're live. Welcome everyone to Smart Match TV. I'm CEO of SmartMatchApp, the matchmaking software, and we are specializing in the software for matchmakers, communities, networking businesses, and on and on. And today I have amazing guests to introduce to you. Actually, someone who has been already here before, Maria Avgetidis, CEO of Agape Match, CEO of Agape Escapes, and author of an amazing book, Ask a Matchmaker. If you haven't got that book yet, please go ahead and find it because it's an amazing book. And also Bailey, she is the CEO, Bailey Ruiz. She is the CEO of GrowMommy, an automation, sales and marketing automation firm. And she's working very closely with SmartMatchApp now to implement products like Marketing Suite that we're going to be talking about. So today we're going to focus on this product that we just launched called Marketing Suite, or MSuite in short. And I would like to ask Bailey first. Let's just say to everyone what it is in a nutshell, what it does, and then we can ask questions from Maria, who is actually using this product already.
Yeah, for sure. So MSuite is basically an all-in-one marketing and sales CRM. It comes fully stacked with pipelines and stages to track your leads. We have tags, notes, tasks, smart lists for your contacts, multi-user calendars. You can replace Calendly, forms and surveys. We actually have short forms now that you can fully customize that act as a profile submission form that goes straight into SmartMatchApp. An email marketing component, SMS messages, full automation. You can even build funnels, websites inside of MSuite, do all of your social posting, reputation management, and basically everything that you need to run your matchmaking company. And I'll kick it back over to you, Tim.
It's been ages and everyone has been asking us for already many years, like, is there sales CRM? Is there marketing CRM that works with SmartMatch? And we kept telling them, go, use API, connected to HubSpot, connected to something else. There's hundreds of software. So finally we did it with your help, Bailey. Now we have the MSuite, which is completely integrated in SmartMatchApp, and it's all-in-one marketing and sales CRM. Everything from running your sales pipeline all the way to complete marketing automations, booking, payments, emails, follow-ups, SMS, email marketing. Everything is in one place, like you said. I will not have to repeat it, but it's done. And today I'm excited actually to interview Maria in terms of how she's using it, how she's applying MSuite. And my first question to you, Maria, is what pushed you to try MSuite on the first place? And what problem were you ready to stop dealing with?
So it actually started off with, I was having a call with Tim. I was just venting about how the follow-up that we seem to miss from my own employees. So for instance, someone calls in, and while SmartMatchApp did have the place to assign tasks and then follow the lead, follow the task within SmartMatchApp, I was very frustrated that one of my employees was just not following up. So they're a great salesperson, but I really need them to follow up with things. And then also that they were just missing notes, like things were getting lost in our sales funnel. And we're trying to brainstorm. And then I just happened to open up the product line, and I'm just going down the product line. And I'm like, what is this? What is MSuite? And Tim starts describing MSuite in the words that Bailey just used and Tim just used. And I was like, oh, so this is the solution. This is it. Like it just clicked right then and there that I felt like, okay, not only for the sales funnel, but then the matchmaking funnel, like where is that connection of how do we attract, who do we attract, what happens when they come in, how do we convert them, and then now they're in our system. And that's how that initial conversation began. That is what brought me here. And then I got reintroduced to Bailey, who is just a genius. Honestly, the way she zoomed up my top 3 favorite people on this planet, it's unreal. Tim, you've been bumped to number 4. So.
Deservingly so.
Yeah.
All right. Maria, thank you for this introduction. What is, when you started using it? Let's just dive a little bit, unpack a little bit of details here. What was the first thing that made you go, wow, that's different?
There's just like so many things, but at the end of the day, it was also the cost benefit analysis. So if you think about all of the technology or administrative things that you might be using in your office to just run a business, right? So for us, it was having a voice over IP phone system. That was about, with all of our lines, was about $300 a month. Using DocuSign, or if you might be using DocHub to collect signatures on contracts, that's about, I think, $600 a year. Using MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, which for us was about anywhere between $200 and $400 a month. And then thinking about like Buffer app or HubSuite or whatever is scheduling your social media posts for your company. That's another cost, let's say at minimum $30 a month. So if you look at the monthly expenditure of what we were doing, and then also Calendly, that was, I think, about $45 a month. All of these things are in MSuite. So I was able to get off of Calendly, DocuSign, my voice over IP, and other social media scheduling apps to save nearly $1,000 a month, because this already had it in a more cohesive way. So if you think of each user, the unique information about them is their email. And we know this to be true for a host of things, right? We all get email marketing from like your favorite store, and then they try to follow the conversion to see if you bought that jacket on Cyber Monday. And I did. Thank you very much. I got a lot of good deals that day. But it was the same case here, is that, okay, the unique field on this particular person is their email. So how did we attract those? So MSuite has, social media marketing, a component where you can schedule posts, where you can see your analytics, where you can measure how well that's doing. It also has an ad space where you can ads not only on Facebook, but on LinkedIn. So in LinkedIn, for the business that we do, if someone who runs ads, it might be a better place to run ads for the level of service and cost versus, let's say, Facebook. So it had that component. So now you've attracted that lead, and it could also be organic, right? Maybe you've attracted them through Google or through ChatGPT or through social media, but they've entered your website and they've submitted their email. What happens now in that tracking? I'm sure we're going to go through this in questions, so I apologize for monologuing here. Should I stop talking?
No, keep going.
Okay, so that person has come in, right? So let's pretend their email is janedoe@gmail.com, right? They came in, they went to your website, janedoe@gmail.com. So what happens to Jane now? Well, because of MSuite, now the system is going to send her a text message. They're going to send her an email. Because MSuite allows you to add in your calendars, similar to like what Acuity or Calendly would do to schedule things. Now it has access to your Zoom as well. So if you're using that as a tool to do Zoom calls, fantastic. It lets you do that. But it sees your availability, just like you would have put on Calendly. And then if that person schedules, fantastic. That funnel of getting them to book that first conversion of getting on a call with you or a Zoom call with you is done. But let's say they don't. Let's say they skip their email. Let's say your email went to spam. In both of those instances, now in that workflow, which MSuite, which is what Bailey has helped us design, is okay, after a day, if they still don't schedule, they get another email or they get a text message or both. And after 2 days, they still don't do something, they get a third reminder. If by a week after they signed up, which again, remember, they came to you. You didn't go to them, chase them down a subway platform. They came to you. They're here to learn more information. They're just not fulfilling the rest of that, which is scheduling a discovery call, scheduling a success call, whatever you may call it on your end. It's after 7 days, we have put in our own workflow, hey, it looks like you're currently unavailable. When you are ready, here's the link. We are going to stop messaging you now. And then you let it die. We can always now, in 6 months or in 3 months or 1 month, create another text message chain in that workflow that says, hey, remember when you didn't schedule with us? Are you going to schedule with us? Now, let's say Jane Doe does schedule. All right. Now she has a phone call. So on our end, because the phone system is also through MSuite, we know we called them. We get a transcription of the call. Yet we then, at the end of the call, get to say, what was the outcome of this call? Well, on this outcome of this call, we talked about this program. Great. Because we selected that we talked about this program during the call, an automated email follow-up goes to them. And now again, their email is associated. So let's say they reply to the email saying, send me a contract. Now we've sent them a contract. Again, that same email is associated. So now, because that contract has been sent, they will get reminders if they don't sign up within 48 hours. And of course, it's all customizable. So you get to customize not only what your contract looks like and when you get sent all the reminders, but once they do that, now if they sign the contract, again, that email is registering as converted into clients. So on MSuite, what I can see is all of our leads coming in, what percentage of those leads convert to a phone call, a contact, a human contact, and then what percentage of those phone calls convert to a sale. And now I have, as Bailey always puts it, data. I have data. I'm from New Jersey. We call it data. I have data. And with data, you can now do things. You can say, okay, I got this lead from this. I should put more of my resources towards this. I didn't get the kind of leads I want from this source. I should stop paying attention to this source. But now you can do things with the data. And that is what MSuite has unlocked for us, is data and time. So much time. So yes. Sorry for the monologue, by the way, but it helps to describe
just a question.
Flow, you know?
No, you do an amazing job. Like, it's actually astonishing how much Maria retains of this information that I tell her. It's honestly crazy. But so your salespeople, the people that are actually getting on the call before they needed to follow up with everyone, now all they're doing is marking that they showed up to that calendar. And it's just like, what are they going to do now? I guess just focus on closing more leads, getting more calls.
We're seeing, first of all, an increase in calls. So that's the big thing, that we're actually seeing a sharp increase on conversion, because now we're treating every single person that comes into our database as a lead. Previous to that, humans would come into it and be like, oh, I can't respond to them right now. My kid's at wrestling practice, or my kid is going to a dentist appointment. I'll follow up with them in an hour when I get back to hopefully schedule a call with a person on our team. That's gone now, right? So this loss of leads, like where we kind of drop the baton because we are human and we live human lives, that's eliminated. Now the system is doing it for us, but it still sounds human. I mean, it is human. A human person made it. And it's also going to the expectation of the consumer. The consumer might be interacting with a matchmaker for the first time, and that happens to be with, myself or another company. But it's not their first time interacting with a company that has a website online. So for instance, if you signed up for an online dating app, which many of our users have, right? If you go on Tinder, Tinder's like, hey, thanks for your email. Can you please go back to your inbox and confirm this is your real email? And then once you do that, now you're in their funnel. And again, we have this consumer expectation, like I'm going to get an email from Tinder and the next day to sell me their Rose Pass or whatever Tinder's offering. And even if we don't look at dating apps, if we look at like maybe a retailer, like let's take Old Navy. You shopped at Old Navy on November 5th, but they had their big sale on November 20th because they know based on the phone number and email that's associated with your account that you came on November 5th, you've got Old Navy cash. So on November 20th, they're going to remind you, hey, you have all this cash. It's not a human being sitting there writing, Bailey has Old Navy cash. Let's send her this personal email. It's the understanding that like your account is associated with this and we're going to email you back for it. So the consumer that is interacting with our brands, it is not a new experience for them to be put into a sales funnel. What should be the narrative is, oh my gosh, you get to talk to a dating professional. You are so lucky. When are you going to schedule it? And that is essentially where the emphasis of the message is.
Mama.
So you were literally, how long did it take you to get to that, to all of that you're just describing? Like from the day one, once you did your first demo, I remember it was like...
I'm not going to lie to you. Setting this up is overwhelming. And as a person who is quite technical, I think for me, it was a resource of time. I think if I had just sat there and just done it myself, and I didn't have like 500 other things happening in my life at the exact same time that I decided I need this for my company right away, then I would have done it. And I think Bailey is a great help. And not only because she helps you with that initial setup, and it does takes about 5 to 6 days, like let's say an hour and a half each day, and you definitely need to do your homework. Like you need to come in prepared, right? Like if you pretend you were enrolling in a class at your local community college, you're not just going to show up without your homework on, class day 3. If Bailey says you need to show up with your logins for your CAF, then you need to come in with your logins for your Gmail and have everyone ready to go, right? So I think it takes about 6 days. And it's the cool thing that Bailey kept referencing is that there is a support network. So should you not know how something works, should you not understand what a certain button does, MSuite has a plethora of video content to show you what each and everything does. And you can always ask a question or send a short Loom video to say, here's what I'm experiencing. And then you'll get a reply quite quickly within 24 hours, providing a solution to the issue that you might be experiencing or the obstacle you might be experiencing in completing what you're doing. Another cool thing that MSuite had, it already had sort of like placeholder templates. So you could see like, I'm not going to use the contracts that Bailey has in there. They're fine, but I have my own contracts, right? I'm in a different state. But I could see the background of like, oh, this is where I put my contracts in. So let me now replicate the technology system and just put in my contracts, copy paste. So I was able to do that within 6 days because though I am very aware of the limited availability in not only my schedule, but my employee schedule, I did have the option of hiring Bailey in this case. And if it wasn't Bailey, it would be someone else on her team to work one-on-one with us as we set it all up. And that was a different cost that we spoke about privately. And, I felt though that this was just so valuable, not only because I'm obviously monthly, there's a massive decreased expense of our operations because we use MSuite. And I'm not saying that the cost to Bailey is allocated to that. No, I saw that there was a benefit in if I can get this done as quickly as possible within the next 30 days, I will have more money in my pocket because the flow would be working as it is intended. So that way we're not losing sales anymore.
So not only you're saving time, but you're saving money. If you compare it from before to now, how much time do you think you get back each week? You invested time.
That's a good question.
It's definitely at least 2 hours a day for me. So if that's 2 hours for me,
yeah.
I think about, let's now compound that with our MSuite users for Agape Match. That's times 5. If we're talking about, what is that, 50 hours a week that have been saved. I think it's really important though to look at your data and your analytics and understand like where your resources need to go. Tim mentioned that I'm the CEO of Agape Escapes as well. I'm actually not. I'm the founder of Agape Escapes, and that's our traveling company. It's a subsidiary of our matchmaking service. That's where we connect you with your people, not just your person. And Maria, who is the CEO of Agape Escapes, she's entering MSuite through the Agape Match system. Because the cool thing, I didn't say this before, but the other cool thing is that MSuite allows you to create landing pages. So if you want to just see, if someone is clicking call to action, it's supposed to take them somewhere, instead of having your web developer, pay them thousands of dollars to create a new funnel, the MSuite allows you to create your own funnel within the system with the same brand identity. So it feels like you're still on the same website because you are. The domain still has a subdomain on it, so you're still on the same website. But the cool thing is now we're allowed to add a survey in there or a form in matchmaker speak. And we can, again, collect that email. So now it's part of that conversion cycle of getting on those. And I think that's what we're really interested in, is seeing how different sites within MSuite, because it's still attracting the same people, how we can work with each of these leads and in which capacity.
Yeah, landing pages is a wonderful feature. It's just so quick because we have a studio, and I know how it was always a headache to make, or how long it would take to make.
Yeah.
Landing pages, never mind track all the traffic in them. Now
right.
It's like minutes, right? How long does it take you to make a landing page?
Right. And I think for Amalia, as it pertains to like how much time she's going to be saving when we get Agape Escapes up, I think we're talking about 20 hours a week, because almost all of her job is not only follow-up, it's ads. And now that we have, now that MSuite allows ads on Facebook and LinkedIn, I think Bailey is a genius as it pertains to like creating the type of ads that attract people to click and then want to give their email. And that's really important for that type of company because we need to communicate with them. Not everyone is ready to take a trip to a different country. If, some people say, oh, I'll book it next week. I got to find my passport. I gotta take time off of work. So there's other things in the way sometimes when people book a trip.
There's a lot of
you need that email to follow up and keep reminding them like, hey, you need to book it now.
Yeah, there's a lot of hand holding in that process.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. I was just going to add that, a lot of people that have, like you said, that hire these teams to build funnels and things, a lot of them are not looking at their data or analytics. And therefore it's like, are they even clicking on the button inside of your funnel? Is it, there's just so many things that you'll have access to on your own to go and decide, what to change or what to add or what to take away. See if there are men or female actually going to that funnel. I think that was huge for this industry too. I actually ended up creating a separate funnel for men and a separate funnel for women, talking to each in their own way. And that seemed to convert a whole lot better than having just one funnel and funneling everyone to that one page. So
I will say one of the most frustrating things about the matchmaking industry is that sometimes the consumer of business products, so the people who own matchmaking services, they don't see the value in not only having a fantastic CRM, but having a good workflow behind the scenes that grows your CRM, right? Grows your leads. It's okay if you want to be the matchmaker who does it on paper. It's okay if you want to be the matchmaker who opens up a lot of Google Docs or a type form. But it's just not sustainable long run if you, get really good press or if you get mentioned on the radio. You don't know how sometimes your leads are going to come in. And I think while there's enough singles to go around to every matchmaker, I'm certain of it, I don't think many of us are in a position to miss an opportunity where you could really help someone just because you didn't follow up quickly enough or because your website was not designed in a way that would convert someone to even just have a conversation with you. And I think sometimes that is what's like it feels kind of hurtful in our industry because, I will tell people about MSuite or, even SMA and it's like, okay, but I'd rather do something for free. And I'm like, well, there's no such thing as free when it comes to your operations. Like, why would you want it to be free? Why wouldn't you want the proprietor of the technology that you use that needs to be also secure and not, hackable? Why would you want them to be free? Why wouldn't you want them to get paid and make sure that this is their full-time job, protecting and securing your data and also making sure your technology works so that way you can run your business? It's almost kind of like, telling me I'm going to have a bricks and mortar, like I'm going to have a shop on Main Street, but I don't want to pay for the lock. If someone wants to come in, they'll come in. It's like, no, you need all these things. They're part of it. You have to pay the locksmith.
Right. Such a small expense for something that could be so detrimental to your company.
Yeah, especially when it's your product.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you think, now that we're talking about industry a little bit, looks like, how do you think this can help the matchmaking industry in general? How can it reshape matchmaking industry if it in the next, year?
Good question.
I think that's such a great question because it requires me to zoom out and I don't want to. I think what MSuite is doing for me is making me zoom in. As much as I care about my industry, as much as I care about matchmakers who might have a platform, even if it's a small one, to represent us and to be good matchmakers, I have discovered at the end of 2025 that it's really imperative for the health of my company to just focus on us. And the way I can focus on us is to be concentrating on my company's data, right? What's working for us is having forms that conform to the brand strategy of the new Agape Match, which launches in 2 months. And, at the time of recording, it'll be out in February. I think it's really important to my company that we have a process for our leads to chase those opportunities and to be able to be available to the clients that we can work with. I know that might sound like a very negative answer, but it's not. I think it's actually a quite positive answer, that I do think that more matchmakers need to look at their own systems and see what is working for you. And that is what you should do, not what is someone else doing.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what hurts us overall, because I do feel like one of the reasons why more matchmakers haven't adapted or adopted technology, even just from a CRM, like where you store your leads, is because they saw a matchmaker who does it on paper. They saw a matchmaker who does it on Typeform or a Google Sheet. And they're like, well, if she can do it, or if he can do it, I can do it this way too. And it's like, you know what? Don't worry about them. Focus on yourself. And like, what is it going to take for you to get all of the information you need from your lead to either have them become a client or set them up with one of your clients?
Well, usually matchmakers who are doing that with Excel sheets and the paper, they usually come around later, because at one point
it's overwhelming.
You can't manage your business like that.
Yeah.
So,
at one point, everybody was talking about how crazy it was to drive cars when we were in carriages. And, do we see anyone in carriages except for in Pennsylvania, the Amish, maybe? Not really. So I think it is just a matter of, I think that the early adopters will have so much more data than the later adopters. And I think that Maria, you and other clients that I've worked with for long periods of time are paving the way for this matchmaking industry as a whole. And because like you said, not a lot of matchmakers have data. It wasn't until 2 years ago that I had a ton of data, and now I get to actually make decisions off of the data that I have. But yeah, definitely getting your own data, care about your business, invest in your business. If you're getting a lot of leads and you're not following up, it's kind of black and white.
But let's say if a matchmaker is unsure still, even after this interview, even after this, if they're unsure about
I think for me, the thing that I keep saying when we have our team meetings now is, I wish this existed 17 years ago when I started out. I wish I had access to this, because this type of technology that MSuite has, it was not available to small businesses even up till 2 years ago. What existed was like certain funnel systems, but like click funnels, but then they just kind of like dropped off. Like it wasn't necessarily a tool where you could connect your phone, connect your contracts, connect your social media. It was just a funnel system for a landing page. And the companies that had this sort of system, it was all in-house, and they were paying like 4 or 5 program engineers $200,000 a pop to create something like this for them. And so now that I get to use it 17, 18 years into Agape Match, that's the thing that I keep saying the most. It's like, man, if I was starting out now, like, because that's the other thing that's I think hurt me is, and I think Bailey tends to tease me a little bit about this, but I am stuck in my ways. So having to learn MSuite and having to rediscover, why is someone coming to our website? Why are they joining? I don't think a lot of people that come to your database necessarily just want to be, oh, well, call me when you call me. They really want to talk to someone. It took me, I want to say 4 weeks to really turn my head around and be like, yeah, we should be talking to all of our leads. Like, what's wrong with us? Why would we not talk to all of our leads? And I know this might seem like duh to other people, but I also don't think people realize how many leads our company gets. But having that idea now, it's really informing the way we build the rest of MSuite, which is a place to not only be of service and to help someone build their community and hopefully find them love, but it's also a place to just be more personable and approachable, despite the fact that the system is a little automated, right? it's still following up. It still wants you enthusiastically to do something. And so we're informing what the goal is, and then the rest falls into place.
By the way, talking about communities, Maria, there's a whole section on building courses and community feature in MSuite as well, by the way. Is it maybe comparable to Kajabi? I don't know.
I think it's comparable to Kajabi. We do use the community feature on Kajabi for those other products that we have. I don't know if we would ever transition. I'm not there yet. We can definitely explore this in a year. But right now, we're really happy with Kajabi as it pertains to community building, just because we have a course load and all that stuff. But you know what's really cool is Kajabi's API and MSuite's API, they talk to each other. So whatever's happening on Kajabi is coming back to MSuite, and we still have that lead.
Yeah, perfect. Are we going to talk a little bit about AI today at all? What do you think, Bailey? Or are we going to leave it for part?
We can have a discussion, since Maria is here, about her thoughts on AI.
By the way, for everyone to know, that we're mainly discussing right now the product that Bailey has designed and Maria is using. It's the Matchmakers Lite. It's a $199 per month product. AI is a more expensive, more high-end product. And of course, there's am I right, controversy going on around generally using AI, not using AI.
Are you talking about like AI, like where the AI calls your leads?
Voice AI and text?
I would say first step is conversation. I would say voice is a little step beyond that, but go ahead.
This is going to be a very short conversation.
Have you touched it yet?
Yeah.
Is not interested in doing that at all. Like, we even had a meeting with Bailey about this. I think I can appreciate that AIs have become really advanced, where now they can call your leads, or they can do the little chat box on a website. But I feel like we are selling a human product. If someone's coming to us, I think as time goes, we will see the more dating apps talk about my AI will talk to your AI so you can go on a date. You're going to see people reject that. They're paying for a human being. They're paying for a matchmaker to do matching. And I think your first impression has to be human. It has to be uniquely human. And it's funny because I'll actually give you a great example of being uniquely human. I have a potential client who wants to meet with me before they sign. And I said to them, December is really tough for me because my father is currently traveling in Europe. My mother is disabled and I have to care for her, and I cannot come to New York because it's going to take me an hour to drive in. I can't, we're going to meet for 2 hours. I'm going to take another hour to get back. It's just not possible. Can I instead send you an Uber to come to me in December so we can meet? And I wrote that all in the email. And I said, I know you might be thinking TMI, but this is a true human experience, and matchmaking is unique because it is human. And you know what he replied back with? Don't bother sending me an Uber. I'm just going to rent a car. Thank you for offering. I can't wait to see you on Thursday at this nearby town. And I think that's what it is. Like, I gave him a real human response. And I think I appreciate that technology existing. If we weren't selling a human experience, maybe we would do it. If we were like Old Navy, we would totally do it, but we're not. We're a matchmaking service, and we can certainly explore these solutions in a couple of years, but I do believe that the consumer right now is looking for a human to speak to.
Yeah, and I would just add to that too and say that when you're coming from a place where you don't have any automation set up, that would be like your very first step. Like, if you cannot just jump into AI. I've never recommended that to anybody that I've spoken with. If you've met me before, I don't jump to AI. I jump to automations because, like Maria said, they can be customized to the way that your company would like to respond to people. And that could be different across every single matchmaking company. AI responses will always be different as well. But again, I think it's really good for you to understand your process using automation, and then you can maybe then start to see, okay, well, maybe AI could handle this, or maybe AI can handle that, but baby steps, step at a time.
Okay, totally. You said 2 years. I say let's talk in a couple of months probably, because the way this is going, with the speed is going, you might change your mind, Maria, in a couple of months. And me too.
I'm always open to changing my mind.
Yeah, I know. It just depends where it is and if it actually is productive. and personal. Right. We'll review it when we get to that point. For this time, I think we can wrap up. This is a good first sort of preview of the MSuite. If anyone has any questions, we're going to put all kinds of links and descriptions below. You can also contact Bailey or Maria. Hopefully you don't mind if anyone who sees this video can contact you directly, or you can contact.
Like I said, it will be overwhelming the first time you log in. Just remember, just have a countdown in your brain that like in 60 days, it will not be overwhelming. It will just be a part of your company. But it is overwhelming.
It's a sophisticated system, and if it can save you 50 to 100 hours every week.
Yeah, I think if I were just a solopreneur, this would save 5 hours of work each day. That's how much work we're talking about. Easily.
I would say people that are using this right now, matchmakers, when it was completed, the setup was completed, they were lost. They were like, so I really just show up and I just click show. And they had to say it over and over and over again. And I'm like, yes, that's all you have to do. And so what are you going to do when everything's automated? You're going to find new things to do, and you're going to get more leads because now you can handle them. And I think that's the point. That's the main ROI. If we're going to talk about, return of investment, I think that's where it comes from. Your conversions are going to be higher. More people are going to, jump on a discovery call with you. You're going to make more impressions that way. And also when people are searching for a matchmaker on Google, let's just say, they're looking at multiple matchmakers. They're not just looking at one most of the time. And so they might even go submit their profile to 3 matchmaking companies. I've seen this happen many times. And the first person to respond is where they feel nurtured. So the other people that are waiting 24, 48 hours to respond, they've already booked a discovery call with this automated company, right? So they're kind of like, they responded to me first.
And, if you can automate all the repetitive, routine kind of tasks, why wouldn't you, right? Because then it leaves you to do more creative stuff. The way I see technology going forward is, for a long, long time, it's gonna just assist and remove from us all the repetitive work, all the routine work, and allow us to do the more creative work. Work on your strategy, work on your branding, work on your hiring, hire better people. There's a lot of work to do in terms of building team, bring the right people. That you cannot automate, I think, because it's very creative process. All right, I think we'll leave it here because we can always do part 2 and answer between now and in next month or 2. We'll probably get a lot of questions, and we can do
maybe in a few months we can show not only the Agape Match website but also show like a demo, like the workflow,
real demo.
Here's what happens in real time.
A real workflow.
So generous of you, Maria. Thank you. I was actually going to ask you that.
Yeah. Totally fine.
That's very generous of you. Okay, well, stick around, everyone, because that will be exciting to actually see the the workflow, because it's really where it's at. Like the way that you set up the workflows is the key core to it. This whole thing.
For sure.
Yeah, thank you for offering that. We will come back to it. Let's just say in a month or 2 next year.
In February.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your generous time. It's always, Maria, you're always very generous with your time for the industry. I've just been in the Matchmakers Alliance conference. It was amazing. And everyone who is listening to this, just subscribe and go to the next one, because you're going to learn. And we can cover again this kind of technology in the next the next Alliance, for example, conference. So thank you so much for what you're doing for the industry. Thank you for this interview, because people will watch it, get inspired, go ahead and improve their businesses and improve the industry in general. Bailey, I don't know what to add anymore, because you have been called genius how many times on this call? Maybe.
Thank you, guys.
Like a lot.
Tim hears it all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I love working with Tim and now Maria. And I think Maria is just one of the smartest people I've ever met in this industry as well. And she cares so much about her business. And that's why we were a fit to work together. And it took me a long time to learn everything. And it also took me double that time to learn this industry with automation. And that's where MSuite was born. And, to the moon, as Tim would say.
Thank you. To the moon. Thank you so much. By the way, you can find Bailey at growmommy.com. Very easy, straightforward. Matchmaker, Maria, well, actually, we'll send them to Agape Match, right?
Maria.
Just
It's fine.
Agape Match.
Yeah.
AgapeMatch.com is fine. You
We'll
can just
automate it later.
automate it later. You can check it out, and there will be a bunch of links here. You can just contact us. Thank you so much for your time. Happy holidays.
Happy
And
holidays.
we'll be back soon.
Happy holidays, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.